Not in, I studied a little bit in the haram with him, but most of my time was in the masjid next to the house. And all the other people saw this and they tried to do it. He wouldn't give them the private lessons. So it was me and a brother from Bahrain. MashaAllah, was a very good student. I was the Bahrain brother. He also was from the students of Shaykh al-Muthaymeen, rahimahullah. And we studied with him in fiqh, and he's my main shaykh. Also, from the mashaykh that I benefited greatly from was Shaykh Muhammad bin Matar al-Zahrani, rahimahullah. And this was a very unique man, subhanAllah. And when it comes to the knowledge of hadith, and this guy memorizes dates, and dates from the time we live in, from another time, anybody who died, what year he died, what year he was born. He was just so incredible in that field. But even though he was so strong in hadith, he would always tell us the important thing is what the implementation, the amal. And you see the shabab memorizing the sahihain. He said that's nice, but we want something greater than that. That's the implementation. We want the students to act on what they have learned from the hadith. And we study with him not from hadith. We study with him durus tarbawiyah. Different durus. We studied a book in da'wah. We studied books in tarbiyah, books in education and suluk, how to make tazkiyah or purify our souls. This is what we focused on with him. So I benefited from him greatly. And I didn't know the importance of this man until he died, rahimahullah, the year before I left. Because when I graduated, do I come back to the West? Do I go to Sudan? I had a job in Saudi Arabia. Where do I go? And he was the one I always turned to. He was like the father figure in my life, So I missed him so much, rahimahullah, that last year. I didn't get the chance. Another one was Sheikh Yahya al-Yahya, who was the Amid of the Kulit, or he was the Amid in the Jamia before, one of the deans. And also I learned from him the importance of the Sirah Nabawiyah. Not just reading it, but taking the durus and what you benefit from it. And that's his specialization. Also the issues of tazkiyah. And the Shaykh used to give us a chart that we would have to do if we wanted to. And you'd have your pen, you have your paper. Did you get the takbir of ihram? Not just the salat al-jama'ah. Did you make it that day or not? Did you pray 1 hour of qiyam al-layl or not? Did you read 1 juz or not? Did you make inkar of munkar and al-ma'ruf 1 time in a day or not? This type of thing, you check it off, and you add up the percentage at the end. So it was kind of fun, and he was really good in educating us. We benefited a lot from him. And the last one I really benefited from is Sheikh Abdulaziz al-Qari, the former khatib of the masjid of Quba for 9 years until he was stopped, obviously, by the government then at that time during the fitna that happened. And he was also, if you go back to the Mus'haf, the old print of the Medina Mus'haf, you'll see he is the Ra'is, he's the president of the Lajna, the committee that reviewed the entire Mus'haf. He's originally from Bukhara. And even though he's my sheikh and I differ with him in a lot of opinions, I learned one great thing from him, is that how to respect the opinion of others. Because he would come, and he would come with some weird opinions that we thought. It wasn't, because a lot of our mashaykh, they're from Najd and they're from this, so his opinions sometimes they'd be a little strange for us. But I learned how to respect the other scholars who we differ with, and how to respect the opinion of others, and how to have adab and khilaf when you differ with other Muslims. We learned a lot from him. And the books that we learned with him, and were basically the books of Shaykh al-Islam and Taymiyyah. We had a dars every Sunday at his house. He was my neighbor in the neighborhood as well. The neighborhood was the neighborhood of the Mashaykh, alhamdulillah. That was a blessing from Allah, right next to the university. So we studied with him and al-Hisba and al-Siyasa Shar'iyya, and we studied with him also Iqtida Sirat al-Mustaqim from the books of Shaykh al-Islam. We benefited greatly. I had a whole bunch of private studies with him as well too, and we benefited from them. And also all of these Mashaykh, especially Shaykh Muhammad Matar and Shaykh Yahya, they always taught us the importance of going back to the books of the Salaf and Aqidah, and not just focus on some of the modern books in Aqidah, even going back to the books like Al-Ibana and Sharh al-Sunnah al-Laka'i, and these books that where you take with the isnad of the Aqidah, where you take it from the Salaf directly to have the proper Aqidah. So these are my main Mashaykh that we benefit from. And obviously there's other more. In the university, I can mention 2 that really affected me in my study in the university. One was Sheikh Abdullah Jarbour, who taught us Aqidah. He was amazing in Aqidah. And also, his name is Sheikh Abdulaziz al-Sulumi. This guy, he taught Sirah. You were on the battlefield when he taught. This guy he was like a drill sergeant, and he even looked like a drill sergeant, And when he taught you, if you missed the class, you would cry. Wallah, you'd cry. And you were in the class, and you'd be like, yes, and the guy could teach the Sirah, You really felt, goes with Uhud, but you're on the battlefield, you got your sword, you're ready to go. He explained it so well. May Allah bless him. He was he's not that famous, not a famous guy, but the guy can teach. He can teach, mashallah, tabarakallah. So these really affected me, these teachers, yes.
In this masjid and other masajid, I see a lot of young people going to the imams of the masajid. and asking them for a lot of recommendation for the University of Medina or Al-Qura or Jamaat al-Imam, or even other places. I learned that you got your tazkiyah from Sheikh Abdulaziz bin Baz rahimahullah. How did you do it? How did you get your tazkiyah? And I want to add some more, but I just want to leave it to this, inshallah, to be the last question, inshallah. But definitely, inshallah, we may do this, inshallah, tomorrow to learn more about the Sheikh, bi'idhnillah. But please tell us, how did you get the tazkiyah from Sheikh Abdulaziz bin Baz, rahimahullah?
Okay, it was actually a very interesting story that I went to the Sheikh, and I had actually two recommendations from Sudan. One was from Sheikh Uthman al-Habboub, and he is from the student of Sheikh Mbaz. And he wrote for me a very, very strong recommendation, and one that I feel I probably don't even deserve, you know, very strong recommendation. And the other one was from Sheikh Hussein Hushish, who was a famous Qari from Syria, but he lives in Sudan. His second wife is from Sudan, and he has now Sudanese nationality. But he told me, if you see a person who looks like this, be careful, he's this and this in the government, so don't give him my tazkiyah, it'll hurt you, it won't help you. But it's just the Sheikh loves me. But as for Sheikh Uthman al-Habboub, and all of them loved him, so I went with that tazkiyah. I saw what he said, so I put the other one in my pocket just in case. And I went with the tazkiyah of Sheikh Uthman al-Habboub. And I saw the Sheikh, it was amazing, wallahi amazing. This is the first time I had seen him in person. It was in his house in Mecca. And actually the funny thing was that I had traveled to the Emirates. I was in Emirates. And we heard that Sheikh Mbaz was in Mecca, and this is my opportunity to give him the tazkiyah and hopefully get accepted in the university in Medina or in Saudi Arabia, in another university. So I went to Mecca. I bought a ticket and I got the visa, and I went to Mecca for Umrah. I went to the Sheikh's house. So as I walked in, it was jam-packed. Everybody was complaining. I need to have an operation. I need money. The other guys, I need to bring my wife from my country. The other one, his kid is sick, and this, and the person wants that, wants this. And the Sheikh is on the phone from France with a sister answering her question, and the guy next to him is reading a pile of letters to him. The pile of letters, no joke, it was this big, you know, just so huge. I said, I'm going to waste my time. I said, I'll sit here for 2 weeks, I'll never get to my letter. I said, okay, you're here, just go ahead and give it to him. You came all this way. So I gave the letter to the guy reading, and he put it underneath. I said, oh, man. So I just sat down, you know. The Sheikh got off the phone, he said, Naam. So the guy pulls the tazkiyah from the bottom, puts it on the top. He said, from a Sudan, from a Sheikh Uthman al-Habboub, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, read the tazkiyah. The Sheikh, his face lit up. Big smile, ear to ear. He said, Aina huwa, where is he? So I came up and I kissed the Sheikh on his head and I said, it's me, I'm here. We started to talk and he was just all smiles, rahimahullah. He's like, Kayf aslamt, how'd you become Muslim, this, what about your family, you know, this and that. And he started to write immediately, the tazkiyah. And usually if he gives you something, come back in 2 weeks and this. He started to write it immediately. And he went, and the Sheikh had mentioned for Dar al-Hadith in Mecca. And I told him, no, I said, I want to go to Medina. So he said, okay. So he wrote to Sheikh Salih al-Aboud, who was the Mudir of the Jami at that time. And he wrote the tazkiyah to him. Also a very strong recommendation. And he told me, if it doesn't work out, come to Riyadh and study with me, and we'll find somebody to help you in Arabic, and then you can study in my lessons, other mashaykh. And as I got, you know, I went and I advanced in ilm. I wish I took that advice and took it right there and went and studied with the sheikh and not gone to Medina. But alhamdulillah, I said, you know, al-khira fa maqtar Allah. Also, during this time, it took, you know, anybody who's ever applied to Medina from you know, it doesn't come out the answer very quickly. It comes out, you know, 6, 7 months later. So I was waiting, we got another follow-up recommendation from the sheikh that went to the Medina to make sure, you know, I want this person to get accepted. You know, he wrote 2 of them for me. I have both of them, alhamdulillah, at home now. So I got accepted, alhamdulillah, from that tazkiyah.
Alhamdulillah. ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء. This is from the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fortunately, we were asked to stop this time. So inshallah, we will continue this talk, this unique encounter with Dardasha. For inshallah, next time, bi'idhnillah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or maybe perhaps tomorrow, bi'idhnihi subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.